Hey there, my Battlefield friends and fans! Welcome back to Battlefield Hardline. Today I'm playing with the Scar H on Everglades. Love this map. So while we're watching this match, I wanted to actually talk about the latest news, which is the next DLC, which is simply called Robbery. And we've heard about this just recently through a tease from the lead multiplayer designer Todd Sasser on his Twitter account. So EA will officially unveil Hardline's Robbery DLC at the Gamescom in August. So does that mean we will get the DLC in August? Not necessarily, but I sure hope so. I don't know exactly if the Gamescom is at the beginning of August, the middle of August, end of August, so I don't know. So it could be that we have to wait until the beginning of September to actually get this new DLC. Let me tell you, I'm always super excited when there's new maps coming out because, you know, as much as you love the maps, as much as I love the maps that Hardline already has, I mean, you can never have enough maps. I don't agree with some people that say, you know, they need more and more guns. I don't really care. I'm really happy with the guns that Hardline has so far. But, you know, they actually announced that they're also going to have new gear, which I assume are maybe new maps, maybe new cars, new attachments, new, I don't know, helmets, whatever new gadgets that they can add to the game. And I kind of like it that they kind of tease us a little bit because it makes us really kind of like look forward to it without kind of knowing exactly what's coming. And, you know, I'm sure when they announce it at Gamescom, we'll find out exactly what's going to be in there. And I'm sure they're going to also have a nice trailer to show off the maps and the guns and whatever is going to be in there. So in addition to new maps and guns, we're also going to have new game modes, as I've heard. And I think they're testing out the game modes right now. So I've heard something at one point where they were saying there's a game mode, for example, where instead of like 3 and 4 flags, like in Conquest, you only have one flag and everyone fights about this one flag. So I don't know if that's true or not, but that's definitely going to be interesting. Another game mode I heard leaked is that they have a game mode where you only fight with melee weapons, actually knives, batons, baseball bats, shields, and so on, no guns at all. So that's going to be really interesting, but I can assume that they would have to kind of really lock off the bigger maps because, you know, just, you know, imagine running around in a map like this one, Everglades, with a knife trying to find an enemy to stab, and you see him like 2 miles ahead and you try to run to him and he tries to run to you. Well, that could be funny too to watch, but in a way, you know, it could also become really boring because, as you can imagine, you know, a melee match with melee weapons, the map has to be pretty small for it to become intense and fun. But, you know, I'm open to everything pretty much because, you know, how it is in every game that has a lot of game modes. You don't have to play all of them. You can play the ones you like and leave the other ones to other people. You know, there are a lot of people that prefer game modes that I don't really care so much at all for. Like, for example, all the game modes where you just have one life and where you cannot respawn. And while this, you know, is probably really awesome for people who just never die, it's not really a lot of fun for anyone else because they basically, you know, if they get killed at the beginning of the match, they have to sit through the rest of the match watching other people play while they can't do anything to help or participate, and that can become really boring. And so it's often so that only really good players really like those kind of game modes. We already have 2 game modes where you don't have any second chances, meaning that you only have 1 life, which is Rescue and Crosshair. Those game modes, you basically have only 1 chance. You know, if you die, you have to wait through the match, and you're not going to be the one that makes a difference unless you actually die at the end of the match and you did make a good difference. But, you know, what do you think about those game modes? Do you like to play game modes where you basically can't respawn, where you only have one life? Or are you like me? Do you prefer game modes where you can just respawn and actually enjoy the full match all the way to the end, where it's intense gunfights instead of just sneaking around and waiting for the opportunity to come to take out maybe one guy in 10 minutes or something like that? So I'm interested to see, what people that, watch my video, what kind of people watch my videos, or, who you are, and, just let me know. Okay, I just found out Gamescom is actually August 5 to 9 in Cologne, Germany. So this is the beginning of the month. So we do have a good chance to get this DLC in August. I really hope so. And otherwise we just have to wait, a couple more weeks. But I cannot wait to find out, if it's gonna be big maps, small maps. I sure hope it's not gonna be night maps anymore, because, as pretty as night maps are and as interesting as they can be, I just have a really, really hard time seeing on any night maps. It's just me, I cannot see 3D, I can only see 2D, and for me, that's like harder for me, when I game and I see, it would help me a lot to see 3D, so I could probably do a lot better if I would be able to see 3D in games, but I just can't, and so I think that has a lot to do with me, just in general, a lot of times not seeing things that are there fast enough, and that's always gives me a little bit of hard time in shooters, but I just can't help it. I just love shooters for some reason. I'm totally against guns in real life. I feel like guns are super bad. Guns have caused terrible things. A lot of innocent people have to die because of guns being around in this world, but unfortunately that's how this world is. And we have to see it every day in the news. It's very, very sad. But, I draw a big line between real life and gaming. And, I was playing cops and robbers as a kid. And I would never mean that I would, in real life, wanting to be a robber or a cop. Well, maybe I wanted to be a cop at one point. But, you get the point. Basically, just because you like something in a game doesn't mean that you actually have to like it in real life. But unfortunately, there are a lot of gamers that actually do own guns and like guns in real life and play those gun games, and that can cause a little bit of a problem, that people who are against games like this, politicians or just in general any people that have something to say about if games like this stay around or not, or continue or not, that see that people actually shoot, guns in real life, then they're saying, aha, it's because, they play those games, then they go and shoot someone in real life, and that's really not true. I think it doesn't matter if you play video games or not. If you are a person that's mentally not sane, then you can do dumb things and crazy things, no matter what it is, if you play video games or not. It just happened that some of those crazy shooters actually happen to play video games, because a lot of times when somebody does own guns or likes guns in real life, they also like shooter games. It kind of makes sense, just like people that are, into racing cars or go to car races, they are a lot of times like to play racing car games, video games, and that there's other people that play racing car video games and they've never gone to a car race and they don't really like cars that much in real life, or they don't really care so much because of the pollution, or they're against the pollution or anything like this, but they do love playing it in video games because it's fun to do things in video games that you can't do in real life, or you don't want to do in real life, just because you want to have a little bit of fun. So let me know what you think about all this, and let's look forward to the DLC, and happy gaming. I hope you loved this video, and I hope to see you next time. Take care, have a great day, bye.